I hope you all had a good Christmas, a good New Year. There's been a lot of stuff that has happened, but I have been at my parents', so we have not been able to go over any of this. But there's been so much, I've actually lost articles that I wanted to talk about, but I will reference them, and if I can find them in a future, at any point, it'll be a future video. Anyway, let's just get straight to it. So, oh gosh, we're going to be getting a lot in Spanish, so bear with me and also forgive my shit pronunciation. So, the UN experts demand that human rights be guaranteed and respected before presidential inauguration in the country. So, on the 10th of January, so 6 days from now, yeah, I can do maths. 6 days from now, we're going to be having Maduro go into office, and a lot. I've been hearing a lot, and it sounds like it's. When I originally heard that there's going to be some backlash at it, I expected it, not to this level. He is sweating, and you'll be seeing throughout the articles that the way he's been acting, the way MTM's been acting, this is this is bigger than before. He's gone through this before. He's weathered this storm before, but he's starting to sweat. So we're gonna I'm gonna report on what I can, and then we're gonna see how things go. So just lock my phone. Here we go. Gonna translate now, are you? There we go. Right. So United Nations expert on Thursday, the 2nd of January, urged Venezuelan authorities to respect the rights of freedom and the right to protest on the eve of the presidential Maduro inauguration of his third term. There we go. Hopefully it'll do it again. Come on. It was working before. I literally translated the entire fucking article prior. Oh, we're gonna do this then. There's gonna be a lot of tabs open. Venezuelan authorities must respect the right to life, liberty, and personal security of all Venezuelans and release those who have been arbitrarily detained, the UN group of experts on Venezuela said in a statement posted on Twitter account. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo Gonzalez, I'm not pronouncing his surname, called on their compatriots. That's not even a Spanish word. I assumed it was, so I was trying to read it in Spanish. Right. Compatriots to demonstrate in January, given that Maduro is due to take office on the 10th. Hey, does that? Come on, just highlight that. Machado says Maduro's re-election was fraudulent, and the claims of that Gonzalez won the presidential election on the 28th of July, not a week before the British election. Actually, was it a week before British election? No, it was a week before the riots that we had. Yeah. We strongly call on the authorities to ensure that the right to protest and express oneself is freely can be exercised without fear of possible reprisal, said the president of the group of experts, Martia Valinas. Yeah, I'm going to assume that's right and just go on with this. In a statement, Valinas said that we remember that security forces responsible for maintaining public order must behave with the strictest international standards regarding using force. So a lot of, I think a lot of people are even the UN's expecting things. So I don't know what is being said behind closed doors, but I have a strong feeling that things are being said. Like it's people are expecting things. The chair of the group experts insisted that all conduct that violates human rights must be investigated promptly, thoroughly, and impartially, and judged by independent courts with full respect to their due process. Now, we've seen with the election, the results that happened, none of that was. Sorry, I got an itch on the back of my neck. My mum's got cats, and I'm allergic. And I think I've got fur on, well, my clothes still. But yeah, we saw how things went, and I guarantee, like, there was articles saying that Maduro, Diosdado, and the one with a very Slavic name, Vladimir with a can't remember his surname, but they were all going to basically go ham. They are threatening to go as far as possible. Now, when I say that Maduro is sweating, I don't know if it's because of MCM, the UN, or something else. It could be that he is just fearing public unrest, but I don't believe that to be the case. Like, most politicians don't fear that. They tend to just send out the bulldogs and wait out the storm. So I think there is something else more organised happening here. In the latest report, these experts documented violent repression of post-election protests. The repressive apparatus remained fully operational, said one of the experts, Francisco Cox. This in the first days, it would be Cox, won't it? I don't know. I'm fixating too much on the wrong thing. Between August and December, the authorities arrested at least 56 political activists, 10 journalists, one human rights defender. He said those those who order arbitrary arrests and imprisonments of imposition of torture and other ill treatments, as well as those who carry out them, are individually criminally responsible. Oh, in Nuremberg trialing them. Oh, wonderful. But yeah, um, I think there's more to it, and I don't think it's MCM. She's too small for this. As much as I like her, I think she's too small for this. I don't think it's the people. Again, too small. So I have heard that there may be, um, what was it? About 80% of the army voted for Edmundo Gonzalez in the last election. Allegedly, this is from what I've heard. You have to keep in mind that a lot of what I am hearing is usually hearsay. I hear it through my sources, which I trust. I trust my sources, but you have to take it with a grain of salt. I tried to find articles on it, but with it being Venezuela, with it keeping a very close guard on its media, it's hard for it to come out, but it slips out. You can find it through, Alertas24 is usually the one that I've been getting a lot of this from. It's a very, very good source on this. Venezuelan opposition party denounces the suspension of political visits to political prisoners. Again, I think he's sweating. He doesn't want a leak to spring, so he's making sure he plugs any and every hole that he can find to prevent this from happening. I mean, I'm surprised that there was even visits allowed in the first place, but it's, oh, for fuck's sake, it's showing anyway. Venezuelan opposition party Voluntad Popular denounced on Thursday that the government of Nicolas Maduro has suspended until next Monday visits and food delivery to those considered political prisoners and held in penitentiaries known as Helicore. The headquarters of the Bolivarian National Intelligence Service, SIBEN, in Caracas. Fucking hell, holding food. I like to experience this with you guys, and fuck me. This is a clear violation of human rights. Political prisoners are warned of the seriousness of the consequences they could suffer due to this dangerous measure by the regime. The party also said that the suspension measures added to what it's considered human rights violations of political prisoners, such as collaborators of the party who the anti-Chavez party said have been denied access to their relatives and trusted lawyers. See, I expected relatives and friends and co-workers. Lawyers, though. Naughty, naughty. You're infringing a lot of rights here. No rights are sacred. VP demanded that Nicolas Maduro regime stop putting the lives of Venezuelans at risk and release them immediately at the request that was extended to all political prisoners. The NGO, for fuck's sake, reported on Tuesday that after the release of prisoners in recent weeks, 1,794 political prisoners remain in the country, most of them detained in context of post-election protests against the official results that gave Maduro the victory. Yes, because they're official results, we believe they're fraudulent. There was not an impartial vote on this. Again, stuff I've gone over prior, but I'm going to keep reiterating that shit until the cows come home. According to the officials, around 2,400 people arrested in the election, a figure higher than the higher that than that of the penal forms, since the NGO excluded those that it considered to have committed a crime, as well as those detained are not reported by relatives as and those that it does not have the authorization to include. Okay. So you're trying to lower the numbers to make it not look as bad. Interesting. The largest opposition coalition, Democratic yeah, I'm a little tired. Forgive me. Considered those arrested during the post-election protests to be political prisoners, whilst the government maintains that no one in the country is detained for reasons of coincidence, but rather for violent criminal acts. No, that's bollocks. That's bollocks. There have been people actively pulled from the streets. Again, sorry, I've got itchy head, allergic reaction. Um, yeah, so we have evidence of people getting arrested in the streets that were going to the shops. They just so happened to pass by, although we had that over in the UK as well. But they were arrested. We also had people going on planes. We had people that were getting on planes to leave the country. I believe some of them came temporarily to vote and then went back. They were detained at the airport. I've read articles about this. I've gone through this. It's bollocks. Right. Ooh, next article. I'm loving this. Right. Marina Corina Machado calls for new mobilization for the 10th of January, wherever you are. And damn fucking straight, I'm supporting that shit. Damn fucking straight. I'm not even going to pretend to be impartial. I don't like Maduro. Don't like him. I think he needs to go. I'm on the side of the people here. And this is why I did this channel. This is why I set up this channel. To be on the side of the people that have nothing outside of this country. Those elections, those news reports, that surprised me because people were talking about Venezuela. And it wasn't a side note. It wasn't a one-off video that people watched because it kind of seemed interesting. No, people were talking about news articles, publications. They were talking about it. That surprised me. But I'm going to keep doing this even when the big names in the news corporations, the BBC, Sky, Telegraph, Guardian, when they stop, I'm going to carry on until Maduro fucks off. Opposition leader Marina Correa Machado called on Wednesday, January 1st, for the mobilization ahead of the inauguration of the presidency of the Republic scheduled on for the 10th of January, inviting citizens to take to the streets at the same time and sing the national anthem. You're going to get arrested. Like, I'm in two minds. I don't want more people to be arrested. I don't want more people to be shot. I don't want more people to die, but I also don't want them to carry on suffering. So I'm in two minds. Rise up and take back the country, but also I don't want them to get hurt. Like, this is when you look through the history, you see the suffering that they've gone through. They do this because they have nothing left. I'm doing the hand thing Trump does, but they have nothing left. They're fighting because they have nothing. But it is still such a shame to see them locked up, imprisoned, lives lost, lives taken because of this regime. And it doesn't make me like them anymore. The regime, that is. All Venezuelans will be on the streets embracing each other. Beautiful, powerful right to freedom throughout Venezuela in towns, cities, and yeah. So we get the points here. They're going, they're protesting, and hopefully this is successful, and hopefully something explosive comes of it. Speaking of explosive, we had I heard reports. I can't find the article, but a Russian weapon storage was blown up in Venezuela. Not too sure who did that, but interesting. Interesting to know that Russia has weapons in Venezuela, Latin America. We're having another Cuban Missile Crisis, Russia. But also, it goes to show that America is in a sticky situation. Same with the Cuban Missile Crisis, where they can't do anything at risk of starting a global war. It's why Venezuela hasn't been touched, because America is trying to instill democracy, but without provoking the Russian and Chinese bears. They're in a sticky situation right now. But I have faith because Marco Rubio, he's taking office. I can't remember which department he's taken, but his MO is anti-dictatorship. He's going after Venezuela, Cuba. There was some others, but he's going after them, and he's dead set on it. If you hadn't noticed by the name, Marco Rubio, he is Colombian descent, so he knows about this. He hates it, and he's now in power. This is a man I would like to shake the hand of. Like, genuinely, I'm glad to see him in. I'm glad to see that in the US government, there is someone thinking about the dictatorships that are taking hold in the Americas. The opposition wants to destabilize. So this is Maduro saying all this again. Like, this is normal, but the fact that it's made headline news and wasn't a small side note makes me say, again, this is bigger than it is, than it originally seems. Because most people read this as, oh, we said, of course he said that, of course he's going to say that. No, the fact that it's made such big news is what gets me concerned. The concerned got my ears pricking. My spidey senses are tingling. Nicolas Maduro said that the opposition led by Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo Gonzalez intended to destabilize the country with mobilization that they called for next January the 10th, and said that on Wednesday the 1st, during an interview. So one of the big things with this is, again, I can't find the article. There was an article by this publication, but again, I lost it. Well, I can't find it again after getting home. So, but there's been talks of Maduro mobilizing troops throughout Caracas and taking, just basically cordoning off an area to prevent this sort of stuff. But there's also been talks of him mobilizing criminal militias as well. Just finished recording and I got sent this article that I referenced about the forces being deployed ready for Jan 10th. Also, I realised if I opened the news articles in Chrome, it automatically translates the page. So no fucking around this time. We got this. So, security forces to be deployed for January 10th. Ahead of the General Directorate of the Military Counterintelligence, Alexander Granco reported that the country's security forces are deployed throughout the nation's territory to guarantee security and peace. So apparently, I can't remember if I said this in the original bit, but forces already have full control of Caracas. So preemptively getting in, is not a thing, or most likely won't be a thing. I don't know the full extent of it. I've just been told they have control of it. I don't know how far that extends, but they have it as of now, full control. You have to keep in mind that a lot of sources, a lot of news is spread from person to person, especially in circumstances where news is censored. But I will try and find you sources where I can. Again, I trust my sources, but it doesn't mean you have to trust me or my source, okay? So, in a video posted on social media, the lieutenant and the colonel supervised the deployment of more than 1,200 officers. Because this is saying that they're gonna do it, doesn't say they've already deployed people. And again, it could not be. It might not be the official military. It could be paramilitaries. It could be gangs. We don't know yet. We're going to guarantee peace. Hear our revolution. Our country is being threatened. We are carrying out operations against mercenaries that have yielded fruitful results. This year will not be an exception, Granco says in footage. He also says that on Jan 10th, security forces will guarantee swearing in of President Nicolas Maduro, and in turn will swear themselves in with him. Let's go together for victory, emphasized. Director of the DGCIM stressed that civic, military and police fusion will guarantee peace in the country and criminal organizations. What the Oh, that's from the video. That is the video.
2 de enero del año 2025 nos encontramos aquí en esta inmortal base aérea Francisco y Miranda La Carlota. Vengo a traerle el saludo de nuestro director general.
That is ridiculous. That is propaganda. That is propaganda and a threat. That is showing them what they have and what they're willing to use, and I guarantee you it will not all be used. A lot of this is staged. I have a strong feeling that a lot of this is staged. We know that Diosdado Cabello, he owns them. Like, most criminal organizations work against the government. They work for Diosdado. So they don't have to play by the rules because officially they're not, but they do report and respond to Diosdado, which concerns me because this won't be arrests. This won't be food taken away in cells. This will be shots to the head. And just like when they got Cuban clear-clothed troops into Caracas firing again in after the election, this will absolutely absolve them of any responsibility, any wrongdoing, because on the books officially it wasn't Maduro that called this. Just like how the paramilitary group that Russia had, they were doing things in Ukraine, Belarus, but before the guy got shot. No, plane crash he was in. But they were doing things for the Russian government, but it was a PMC, so not directly linked to Russia. And that's the tactic that they're playing here. It's the same rule book, just a different country. So they've called for arrests of Edmundo Gonzalez. They've had posters at border patrols. They've got signs up in the airports. I don't recognise this one, which is funny because they only have two airports in Venezuela. So this must be the other one, not Simon Bolivar. I'm assuming. I don't know. So I don't know who that is, but my mouse was hovering over. Hope you enjoy the free promotion, love. Yes, this is the current state. They're scared. They want him gone. They know he's coming back. After they signed the agreement, they said they hoped that Edmundo won't come back, but Edmundo has been currently doing a tour of Latin America. He's not visiting Brazil. He's gone to Argentina. He's met with Javier Milei. I can't remember what the other one is. That he's gone to a couple countries anyway.